Good afternoon, everyone. Uh, uh, we are basically CSUN, 100% subsidiary of CWG, which is a gigantic Chinese government company. Give you a panel which was sounding astronomically low, but you knocked off 6% of your energy yield, where would your IRR go? So the focus out here is to talk about IRRs and not the cost at which you buy. Would you not buy a sun power at 80 cents? I would do that if I were a developer, because it is one of the best in the market. Let's talk about what CSUN has to offer to the Indian market for the next few months. The STC value is the panel at which you buy from us is at 1000 watts, air mass 1.5, 25 degrees C, we all know that. But real world conditions are not like that. Real world conditions in India would typically be between 600 to 800 watts per meter square. So the first question you have to ask is, how will my panel behave between 600 to 800 watts per meter square? And this is the concept of relative efficiency. At lower irradiance, the efficiency is not going to be 16%, it is going to be some percentage of 16%. Using a high quality manufacturing process and a high quality cell, we believe that the CSUN cell has a higher relative efficiency compared to, let's say, the tier 1 Chinese or the tier 1 Indian panels. What does that mean for you? It means that you will get at least 2 to 3% more energy yield per annum. Another selected observation from us is this phenomena of PID, which has been talked about in the last maybe few years. What exactly is PID? And here it comes with the press of a button. The PID is a phenomena when the electrons when the sodium in the glass will flow to the cell through the EVA. And at that time, you have a leakage current that goes to the ground. What does it mean for the developer? You lose around 20% of your energy if you do not safeguard yourselves from this phenomena of PID. A lot of people talk about grounding the negative, and we also do that, but we work very carefully with the customer on this. We are the only ones in India who can, if you can give us a weather data and an energy yield on a 15-minute interval, we can help you ascertain your degradation over the last 1 month using some internal mathematical models that we have developed. Please do not ignore PID. This is a very important factor. What is the product offering we have for next year? We are very pleased to announce that next year CSUN will be coming with a 1500 volt panel. A 1500 volt panel will allow you to keep more number of panels in series, which means you'll save a lot of your money on the balance of system. You can save 1/3 of your balance of system, because now instead of 20 panels in series, you can go to maybe 30 panels in series. But what is the business case for that in India? Assuming that the cost of the inverter will be the same, but you will save around 1/3 inverters, we feel that the business case for a 1500 volt panel comes to around 9 cents, which has a cost advantage of around 4 cents, 3.5 to 4 cents for you in the long term in India. So we feel that next year there is going to be a big market for 1500 volt panel, provided we get the ecosystem for that. We are also introducing a micro inverter product for residential markets in the next year. There are multiple permutations and combinations in the micro inverter sphere, where you can have a AC converter on the back side of the panel, or you can optimize an entire array. So we feel that optimizing the entire array is what is the place where we want to be. Instead of a junction box on the back side of the panel, we will use a DC optimizer. But the question is, what is the business case for that in India? We feel that if the DC optimizers can be offered to us as around $30 by the middle or the end of next year, there is a strong business case for that, because you add around 12 cents on the cost of the DC optimizer. Your inverter cost will go down a little bit, because you don't need a big MPPT voltage band. Your installation cost goes down, but however you add 5 cents, which does not seem so good. So the business case for this is only for those places where you have a shading of around 1.5 to 2%, which will basically recover this 5 cent extra that you are paying to us. So we feel that next year is the place that we want to ask a premium from module manufacturers for the balance of system savings that you will have. We are also coming up with a very futuristic high transmittivity EVA, which will take wavelength of less than 350 micrometer, which will give you additional 1.5 watt of energy. Obviously, this is a slightly more expensive product. So CSUN is decided not just to go down on the price perspective, but to look at places where we can add value to the end customer. The last selected observations that we have, for the last 5 years, we have been hearing developers asking us, can you give us a 150 kilometer per hour wind rating? Can it be 200 kilometer? We feel that is the right wrong question to ask, because we could even give you a 400 kilometer per hour wind rating at an angle which is 0 degree. So the real question you have to ask yourself is,